I'd like a motion then now on our financial items D1 through 5.
So moved.
Mr. Philipchak, Mrs. Becker. Is there any discussion on any of those items, Ds 1 through 5? And I believe we could...
It's a roll call.
Roll call, yeah.
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mrs. Chu?
Yes.
Mrs. Lax?
Yes.
Mr. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mr. Philipchak?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I'd like a motion for item D6, approval of positions not previously budgeted.
So moved.
Mrs.
Second.
Becker, Mrs. Shaw. And the reason I wanted to separate that out is that is a significant commitment on the part of the board towards improving a security in all of our school buildings, and without going into any detail that would jeopardize the plans that we have for security, just wanted to make the public completely aware of this new commitment that we are in placing security officers in every one of the school buildings. Is there any comment on this expenditure? All those in favor?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. McAvoy.
Why don't we get a concise, brief comment from Dr. Valesky on the changes, or no, I don't see them as changes, a comment on the improvements that he is recommending for the safety and security of all of our buildings.
Certainly, Mr. McAvoy. I think that, given the world we live in currently, there's always an opportunity to enhance what we already do very well. And I think this opportunity before the board tonight gives us the chance to solicit the human resources that would enhance the physical and emotional security at every one of our school facilities.
The total number of hours, and feel free, Dr. Valesky, with the questions I asked, to say that maybe that is not something that you want to talk about, since Dr. Cohen did say,
Right.
and I think everyone understands, the nature of the level of information that can be shared at this particular moment in time, but the question is the total number of hours that you came up with for the schools.
Correct. There's an opportunity to provide security coverage at the facilities for the entire duration of their operation.
Nice.
I'll leave it at that.
Yep. And is it true that, I don't have Mr. Natalicio's title, but let's for this conversation, let's just say Director of...
Officially, he's a coordinator.
Coordinator of
Right.
safety for our schools.
Right.
Common sense tells me that there will be an increase in the number of security officers. Will Mr. Natalicio be able to administrate all of the new employees, or do you think there's going to be a need for additional help on his level?
I think at some point during the transition, I will need to have a conversation with the board about the management of the new resources that, if you should approve them.
Right. Because let it be known that school safety is one of our primary objectives. And again, shut me down. If
Right now?
I'm ready. Question number 47, part 3.
with this increase of security officers within the building, will there be an increase in the security for all of the visitors going into the building? Part and parcel, will there be as I was chatting with Assistant Superintendent Figueroa today, will there be an increase in like a visitor monitoring system, or is that something for another time?
That would be something for another time.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Cohn.
Thank you. Are there any other comments on this motion? We'll do a roll call on that.
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mrs. Chu?
Yes.
Mrs. Lax?
Yes.
Mr. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mr. Philipchak?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Like a motion for items E1 through E3 under personnel items?
So moved.
Mrs. Becker,
Second.
Mrs. Shaw, is there any discussion on any of those items? We'll take a roll call on that then.
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mrs. Chu?
Yes.
Mrs. Lax?
Yes.
Mr. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mr. Philipchak?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes.
Motion